Hello Internet! I'm Hazel and today I'm going to be going over what we know about Restoration Druids in Legion. We'll take a look at the original preview blog post, spell changes and removals, the new talent tree, and the artifact weapon traits. Of course, it's still early in development, so keep in mind that things can and will change. The full original blog post by Blizzard is linked in the description below this video. The TLDR version of the blog post is that relatively little is changing with Resto Druids. Blizz is happy with our class fantasy and toolkit, so we're not getting sweeping redesigns like some classes. The biggest design changes come with our new mastery and a shakeup of our talent tree. Our old mastery, Harmony, buffed our direct heals and gave us a 20-second buff to our hot heals after healing someone directly. It basically came out to more healing, and don't forget to swiftmend. Our new mastery is also called Harmony, but has a different effect. Our healing will be increased by 12% with mastery from typical gear for each of our Resto Druid hots on the target. This new mastery puts more emphasis on focused healing over blindly blanketing everyone with hots. You'll also be able to choose a sort of secondary druid spec through the Affinity talents, which we'll get into a bit later. Cyclone is balance only, found on the balance PvP tree. This one hurts me the most, and I'm still processing it. I figured we'd get that out there first so you can have time to process it too. I have a lot of feelings. Stampeding Roar is Feral and Guardian only. Incapacitating Roar is also going to be available to Guardian Druids only, and Dash looks like it's Feral only. They're taking all my sprints away. Genesis and Nature's Swiftness are both gone. This is a big hit to our capacity for burst healing. Genesis I can kind of understand, but taking away my NS makes me really nervous. Soothe is also gone, but I have a feeling fewer people will miss that one. I used it all the time, but I'm weird that way. The talents Dream of Cenarius, Rampant Growth, Nature's Vigil, Heart of the Wild, and Force of Nature are all also gone. Force of Nature in particular was a really cool spell, and I'm sad to see it go. Shred, Ferocious Bite, Mangle, Thrash, and Frenzied Regeneration are no longer baseline and are now part of the Affinity talent choice. You'll still have access to bear form and cat form regardless of affinity. Wild Mushroom has been replaced with Efflorescence. It's basically a flower now instead of a shroom, and it's got a targeting reticle by default instead of needing a glyph for that. No biggie. Ysera's Gift is now passive and baseline for all Resto Druids. Ursol's Vortex is also a baseline ability, so that'll be fun to play with. It won't dry my Cyclone tears, but I don't think anything will. We'll apparently get Sunfire as a Resto Druid. That's weird and kind of unnecessary. Moonfire is mostly unchanged, but can now be used in bear form. Laser Bear. I don't know why you'd want to Laser Bear as a Resto Druid, but hey, now you have the option. Tranquility healing will be increased by 100% while not in a raid. This makes it a much stronger cooldown in Arena and 5-man dungeons. Thorns is coming back in Legion. It'll last 30 minutes and cause some nature damage to attackers when they hit you. This can be modified by a PvP talent, which I'll cover in a separate video. Mark of the Wild is undergoing some change, and it doesn't look done yet. I'm pretty sure it won't cost you 75% of your mana. Basic buffs are changing though, so it's true that it may be one target only. Wrath will now be called Solar Wrath, otherwise it's exactly the same. The talent tree is being redone in Legion, with lots of new spells and some old ones shuffled around. Keep in mind that this is completely separate from the PvP talent tree for Resto Druids, which I'll get into in its own video. On the level 15 tier, we'll choose between Verdant Growth, Cenarian Ward, and Germination. Verdant Growth is what the old regrowth glyph used to be. It increases the crit chance of regrowth by 40%, bringing it up to a guaranteed crit. This means that casting regrowth with this glyph guarantees you a living seed, which still works like before. Unlike the old regrowth glyph, you don't sacrifice the hot portion of regrowth when you take this talent, so it's a decent throughput gain. Cenarian Ward is the same as on live, except that it seems more expensive. Currently, it costs a bit less than 2% of our mana to cast Cenarian Ward, so a 9.2% mana cost is a big step up. Germination allows you to apply 2 rejuves to the same target like it does on live, although it doesn't seem to extend rejuve's duration like the old talent did. Because of our new mastery though, having an extra hot to put on a target sounds like a very good thing to have handy. At level 30, we have Renewal, Displacer Beast, and Wild Charge. These talents haven't changed from Warlords, they're just in a different spot. I still think Renewal's pretty bad for almost everything, especially when it's competing against 2 movement talents. It's odd placement. At level 45, we get our affinities. Instead of being an on-use cooldown like Heart of the Wild was, Affinities are active all the time and give you a nice passive bonus. Choosing Balance Affinity will get you 5 yards of extra range in all of your spells. You'll also get Star Surge, Lunar Strike, and Moon Conform. I could see raiding druids taking this for content that's on farm so you could help with damage. Feral Affinity gets you 15% passive movement speed and access to Rip, Shred, Swipe, and Ferocious Bite. The damage you do with these kitty abilities should be more than enough for leveling or finishing off a kill in PvP. The movement speed also sounds great for high movement raid fights. Guardian Affinity buffs up your survivability. You passively take 10% less damage at all times, and gain access to Growl, Mangle, Thrash, Iron Fur, and Frenzied Regeneration. This not only sounds like a default choice for Arena, but during progression raiding you could bear form, taunt, and tank for a little bit if everything's going to hell. At level 60, we see some familiar CC talents. Mighty Bash, Mass Entanglement, and Typhoon are all unchanged and now on one tier. Mighty Bash will still be strong in PvP, Mass Entanglement should still be best for controlling adds and raids, and Typhoon is always a good time. At level 75, we see some more throughput talents. Soul of the Forest and Tree of Life are both unchanged from the Warlords versions. They'll compete with Cultivation, which is new to Legion. When Rejuve heals a target below half health, it'll apply an additional 6-second hot to that target. This works well with the new mastery and sounds pretty good, especially if your whole raid is low. Having said that, Soul of the Forest has a really strong interaction with a level 90 talent, so it won't be an easy decision. The level 90 talents improve your existing healing spells. Prosperity is a passive talent that reduces the cooldown of Swiftmen by 5 seconds and gives it 2 charges. This sounds really good when paired with Soul of the Forest. You'll be tossing out juicy heals like Oprah. Inner Peace reduces the cooldown of Tranquility by 60 seconds, bringing it down to 2 minutes. If there's big damage going out at exactly 2-minute intervals, this might be worth it, but Prosperity sounds much too good. Profusion reduces the cast time of your Healing Touch when you have Rejuve active on 3 or more targets. If you're having serious mana problems in a raid, this might help, but it sounds like kind of a weak option. At level 100, you'll choose from Moment of Clarity, Stonebark, and Flourish. Moment of Clarity lets your Omen of Clarity affect your next 3 regrowths instead of 1. Good if you're having mana problems, and pretty terrible otherwise. Stonebark reduces the cooldown of your Ironbark from 1 minute down to 45 seconds, and it'll increase your hot healing by 20%. I'm not really clear on if it buffs all of your hot healing or just those on the Ironbark target. Either way, this is a very solid talent for tank healing or arena. Flourish is a 1-minute cooldown that adds 10 seconds to the duration of all of your hots on everybody within 60 yards. At first glance, this sounds inferior to Stonebark, but consider that you can use this to extend Soul of the Forest buffed rejuves or regrowths. If you've also taken Prosperity, you could have a lot of those rolling. For an artifact weapon, Resto Druids will seek out Ganir, the Mother Tree. It's pretty much a stick, but at least it's a very fancy looking stick. The following are traits that you'll unlock over the course of Legion as you gain artifact power and upgrade your weapon. Many of these abilities are talents that you put points into, which is why the values aren't fixed. The variables will get stronger as you put more points in. Druidic Touch gives your heals a chance to proc flower patches that heal nearby allies every 5 seconds. Dreamwalker will let you periodically shift into the Emerald Dream, increasing the healing rate of your hots. The number of regrowths or Swiftmens needed to proc this isn't set yet, nor is the duration. Tranquil Mind makes Tranquility an instant cast rather than a channel. For a time after activating Trank, all of your cast time spells will be instant. My guess is that the buff will last 8 seconds, like the original channel time of Trank. Power of the Archdruid gives your Wild Growth a chance to cause your next rejuve or regrowth to apply to all allies within 8 yards of your target. Nature's Essence causes your Wild Growth to give some percentage of its total healing amount immediately. Knowledge of the Ancients passively increases your mana regen. Seeds of the World Tree makes your living seed stronger. Essence of Nordersil reduces the cast time of your Healing Touch, and Infusion of Nature reduces the mana cost of Wild Growth. Armor of the Ancients buffs up your Ironbark to reduce even more damage, and Natural Mending will increase the healing of your Swiftmend. Blessing of the World Tree will increase the direct healing of your Regrowth and Healing Touch. Persistence increases the duration of your dots and your hots. Repetitive Blooming is tagged as needing replacement, so we'll skim right by that one. Mark of Shifting is a neat one. While in travel, cat, or bear form, you permanently have a rejuvenation on yourself. Finally, Grove Walker increases the healing of all of your hots. Looking through the artifact traits makes me feel a bit better about the abilities that we've lost, although nothing can fix the hole that Cyclone's leaving in my heart. Keep in mind that these traits will be unlocked gradually over the course of the expansion. You can eventually access all of them, but it won't happen in the first patch. And that's what we know so far about Resto Druids in Legion. I think that this is a good start, and I hope to see them get refined and perfected during the beta testing process. Keep an eye on my channel for a separate video detailing the PvP talent tree that Resto Druids will get in Legion. Let me know what you think of the Druid changes, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.